What's up, everybody? We are live. Battle of the Bangers, round one just completed. Holy shit. That was something. That was something. Man, lot of talent, lot of insane songs that we witnessed, and also a lot of no-shows, a lot of people that were like, I'd rather not make music. Maybe I'm not feeling it, and that's okay. Not everyone
Maybe I'm not feeling it.
enjoys competition. Not everyone can make a song in 1 week's time. These are all real things, and we understand. There will be more tournaments in the future, so if this one didn't work out for any reason, we'll be here with open arms for the next one. But for this one, out of 72 signups, we had 14 battles where every single person showed up. Some of them really close, down to the very last bitty wire. I actually was tallying up a storm. It's one of the reasons we're a little late here. Is man, people are still voting, and most of these battles that just got done wrapped up within 2 votes of themselves. So democracy, it matters. Every vote counts. Make sure you do your civic duty for round 2. So for those who had a no-show and just submitted some songs, we have, moving into round 2, Coulter, Fallen Dove, Mimic, Riplux, Eric Detzel, X-Raider, Mason Blair, Kyle Jameson, Nobody, Privacy, Ripples, Baby John, Vuxlany, Nick Bonin, Cody Nash, Heisenberg, Colt, Sully, King Zig. Wait a minute. All right. So put a pin on that. We also had people with matchups. So maybe that's where I started to go into it. So first off, matchup, Colt versus AWOL. Colt versus AWOL. This is a solid one. They had contrasting styles. AWOL took Broken and started talking about some broken trauma. And then Colt talked his shit. He's like, bam, bam, bam. Pay no mind to the fucking haters. Fuck y'all. And came away with the dub. So shout out Colt for paying no mind to the haters and advancing into week 2. Next up, we'll talk about Sully versus Nara. Sully came in with, I thought, like a pretty cool mellow song. He had, kind of a good vibe to it. I think it was pretty fun, pretty good times. There's some mixed stuff in there, but like overall, very fun track, good submission. And Nara, I was really surprised by their submission as well. I thought they did really good. The screenshot of the session was insanity. I was like, the fuck are you doing, you mad genius? But Sully pulled away with the dub on that one. Antarctic Giraffe versus King Zig. I'll just say Antarctic Giraffe, dope artwork. Amazing artwork that they had for their character. Big props on that. King Zig was just a little bit more polished, so he came away with the win there. Luke J-Brom versus Ray New. These are 2 people who I actually haven't heard of before. But Ray New came in with that chopper style, very polished. My girl said he sounded like a Tech 9 affiliate. So he came away with the dub there. Shout out to Ray New. Birdcage versus X Mista. This is one, Birdcage won this pretty handily. I think that he had some just solid, bars throughout it. I think he had a very polished song. Kind of reminds me of Jacob a little bit. And Ex Mista, this was a banger. Like I'm just gonna say objectively, I thought that his song was like very catchy. But Birdcage did what he had to do to get the dub there. So shout out Birdcage. Kyle Herman versus YPG. Kyle, solid boom bap, one of the first ones to submit right off the bat. He set the tone. I think he posted like first day or two and was just like, bam, what's up, y'all? I'm here, Kyle Herman in the building. YPG, on the other hand, submitted at the very last hour, like 11:59 on the dot. A lot of energy. I was actually impressed. I was really impressed by the drop. It wasn't 2 minutes, so I was like, fuck it, let's just see how the votes pan out. Like technically, yeah, it's a DQ, but also like I just want to see how it goes because I like the energy of the track and it was a pretty good matchup. He came away with some votes on that one, but Kyle ended up pulling that one out. So shout out Kyle Herman. Next up, I'll talk about Rogue Jepson versus Calico James. Rogue definitely has that, Justin Timberlake in training voice. He's got those highs and did the damn job, sang the fuck out of that. Calico James put up a good showing, but just was not enough. So Rogue moves on to the next round. Now we're into the fucking closies. So, like any of these competitions, anything can happen. The reason that I like to just kind of sit back and be like, you guys fucking vote. You guys, as a community, bring in your people. We also have everyone in the community to vote. Just all of the votes. Just go vote. I love that shit because you wind up with, there's like over 30 votes on some of these, and they're very close. So let's get into some of these close ones. So Joe Boston versus Knowledge. This one was going back and forth the whole time. Joe Boston, obviously, both of them, longtime forum heads. I've known them for like 20 plus years each. They both have pretty much had that style for 20 plus years. Joe Boston with his angry Pac the Cause and Knowledge with his, deep breaths. Knowledge out breathed him and ended up taking it by looks like 6 or so votes. Some people came in at the end, but yeah, shout out Knowledge for that dub. Joe Boston, got something for you, buddy. Stay tuned. Relac versus Taisky. Relac, butter ass voice. Great voice. Amazing singer. Did the damn thing. He had a little bit of rapping, a little bit of singing. I knew this would be a good matchup. Taisky, they also got 7 votes. So it was 16-7 on this one. So it's kind of just stylistically, what are you interested in more? Maybe you want some more of that new sounds that you got there. Very close matchup. Relac ended up with the dub. We also had Trev versus Parky Sparks, or Goom, as we lovingly call them. Trev came in with some hick hop, just straight up like, I like fishing and crawdads, and I'm gonna just twang on y'all. And Parky Sparks had kind of a fun, like, I don't know what to call that style. Just like I'm just having fun and I'm just kind of doing my own thing. And if you're on board, you're on board. If you're not, then yeah, too bad. But some people are on board. It was real close, 11-9. Trev pulled it out by 2 votes. And shout out Trev for that close matchup. We also had Sacred versus MCD, core member of WCR, and also friend of WCR, Sacred. Battle of the UKs. I want to call it Battle of the Brits, but I don't think that's accurate. But the Welshman versus the UKman, the Londoner. I don't know. It's all the same to me. I'm just an ignorant American. That's basically America 3 over there. What do I know? But solid tracks. Both came with very different styles. MCD with his singing, kind of synth wave. Sacred with his kind of classic boom bap. Let me talk about it style. I love it. This was another one. It was 14-12 when the votes closed in favor of Sacred. In favor of MCD. My bad. I just Steve Harvey'd this shit. So MCD pulled out the win. Shout out M Theory, Savant. M Theory with his savage story track of a serial killer woman who date rapes guys. The guy wakes up tied to a bed. Spoiler alert, she's got knives in her hands and she's going to cut your wiener off because she's infatuated with you. Meanwhile, Savant singing, humming his little ass off, just silky smooth. He's basically like Relac 2, except for much smaller, shorter songs. But this time he had a whole song, and it sounded really good. I liked both of these entries, and so did a lot of people. So M Theory pulled this one off 15-9. Shout out M Theory. Lastly, Catalyst versus Mailbox Spiders. This one caused a lot of controversy. Had some people with a lot of thoughts. The fact of the matter is, we here at WCR, we love democracy. Big fans of democracy. And that's why we say, you know what? You've got some friends who would like to be part of our community that want to listen to underground hip hop and make their voices be heard, as long as they submit a well-reasoned, here's why I think somebody should win. We're here for it. It's not a popularity contest, as it proves, because we have tons of people in the community that also vote. But I'm just saying, feel free to invite whoever you'd like, not just to vote for you, but to listen to dope hip hop and maybe discover some new artists. I think there was a lot of cool music that they could have listened to. And, I think that the results, it could have gone either way. I think Catalyst had a very strong showing. They had a really dope beat. I think both of them produced their beats. Catalyst, opened saying they weren't a rapper, and then was kind of hitting with all sorts of cadences. That was pretty dope, actually. And Mailbox Spiders, this is the first I've ever heard them on a song. I've never heard Mailbox Spiders actually use their voice on a song. I thought that was very well produced as well. So shout out both of these guys. Mailbox ended up taking it 19-7 with Paradise choosing them instead of choosing draw. So shout out, another very close match. What we're going to do for all of these close matches, this was just insane, I think. So right now we're at 30 people who have made it into round 2. We're going to open up 2 spots for the people that were in these close matches and lost. If you had, 5 votes or more for you, then I'm going to toss your name in a hat and we're just going to let fate decide. Let Lady Luck forever be in your favor. 2 people who lost this round in a close battle will still get to move on to round 2. That's right, folks. Surprise, motherfuckers. We're doing it live. Let's go. I don't know why I had my headphones on anyways, because I'm not actually listening to any music. So let's just pour these names in a hat. So no, they're going to get put into the random drawing along with everyone else. So just a reminder for those, yeah, we do golden tickets. So for those who missed the first rambling part of it, for those I have in the close battle section, we've got Joe Boston, who narrowly lost against Knowledge. We've got Tyski, who lost against Relac in a close battle. We've got Parky Sparks, aka Goom, who lost to Trev. We've got Sacred Daily, just lost to MCD. We've got Catalyst, who narrowly lost to Mailbox Spiders. And we've got Savant, who lost to M3. So that's what we're doing. 2 spots, drawing them out of a hat right now. Let's see who's moving on and gets put into the random matchups. Shuffling, 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 shuffling. First up, Young Pagan God. Oh, I also had him in there. Young Pagan God, you son of a bitch. You under 2-minute motherfucker, you. Next matchup, you are into the second round. Make sure that you do 2 minutes for your song, or I will actually disqualify you next time. That leaves 1 spot left for the close matchups who have over 5 votes. Shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. It is Catalyst. Catalyst. So that close matchup you just had with Mailbox Spiders, you're getting another shot at it right now. So tossing them into the big hat. Putting on my dope hat again. All right. Who's ready for round 2 matchups? Let me know in the comments who you would like to be paired up against. Point them out. Be like, that motherfucker, that's who I want because I'm going to win. Make sure to let them know. In the meantime, I will get this going. First of the name, M Theory. M Theory. Start a new page here because we're super organized like that. M Theory. Going to use that gravel voice of his and potentially beat up on Ripples. M Theory versus Ripples. First matchup of round 2. Next up, we have Baby John. Baby John. Is he a baby? I'm just a baby. I don't have money. Baby John up against Nick Bonin. Wah, wah, wah. Who will be boning tonight? Nick Bonin. How you gonna have a name like that? I'm just riffing and saying dumb shit. Set me up for all sorts of terrible things. Next up, third matchup is Eric Detzel. Eric Detzel. They weren't even gonna post. And I was like, no. This guy's just posting a beat. Go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a pause here for a short PSA. Reflecting upon week 1, I don't know how long I had the official rules up there, but there is a thread in there called Official Rules. You can look at it. It's still up there. I've had it up there for a month and a half. It says no features, songs over 2 minutes, less than 5, and not a fucking instrumental. Not a fucking instrumental. We've had like 3 producers just post a beat and be like, pretty good, guys, right? And it's like, no, you didn't do shit. And maybe some of the beat. Oh, and no AI. Yes, no fucking AI. So thank you for those who took time to read the rules. For everyone else, fuck yourself. But also, we love you. It's okay. We're going to have more contests with just producers. This one's geared toward the artists. So shout out Catalyst, shout out Mailbox Spiders. Normally aren't doing artist stuff on their beats, stretching the lungs a little bit. You know, I respect it. Anyways, back to it. Eric Detzel is going against Cody Nash. Cody Nash. Oh, yeah, brother. Cody Nash and Eric Detzel. Again, just the whitest names you can imagine facing off. Probably just like, you know, bumping into each other in the grocery store with their shopping carts. Like, ooh, sorry. So, yeah. Eric Detzel, Cody Nash. Next up, we have That Kid Lux. Rip Lux. He gonna rip you. He gonna lux you. Rip Lux. Who's he ripping? Bum, bum, bum. Voxlany. Voxlany. Volany. Velany. VXLONY. VXLONY. So, just a quick note on Voxlany, Velany. I know you're not going to watch this, but this kind of goes to just everybody. The topics, right? The topics we provide up top there, I work very hard on them to make sure each matchup has 3 individually curated topics for you to draw inspiration from. A lot of people did a lot of cool shit based on some of those topics. Some people just said, I don't care what you did. I'm just going to do a diss track. So, Voxlany, here's your warning right now. If you just diss whoever your opponent is, I'm going to fucking DQ you as well. You got to look at the topics. You got to do a song based on those. You can't just say, okay, my opponent is Rip Lux, so I'm going to rip him. Doesn't work like that. So, fair warning. Figure I'd say it now. Next matchup. Ray New. Oh, my God. Ray New. If we get the battle of the Rays, Ray New versus Ray Old, I will shit myself. Right on stream here. Just brown streaks everywhere. Let's see if we can make it happen. Ray New is going against Kyle Herman. Kyle Herman. That's actually a really good matchup, too. I enjoy this. Kyle Herman. I think actually both of their styles are, I won't say similar, but I'd say that this is going to be a really good matchup stylistically. Next up. So, 4th Street Catalyst. We got M30 versus Ripples. Baby John versus Nick Bonin. Eric Detzel versus Cody Nash. Rip Lux versus Velany. And Ray New versus Kyle Herman. That's all we got so far. Next up. Mimic. Or as they say in his hometown, Mimic. Mimic is going against King Zig. Mimic versus King Zig. Charlie-O. This will be also a really good battle. King Zig's going to yell at him a bunch, and Mimic's going to be like, oh, well, I see what you're doing over there, old mate. So we'll see what happens. Next up, Young Pagan God, winner of the first ever drawing to go into round 2. YPG. Let's get it. I'm not going to lie. I liked your song from the first round, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do on this one. Against Relax JCC. Relax versus YPG. That also could not have been a more different matchup. You got Butter Singer versus a yelly rapper. I can't wait. We've got next Mason Blair. Mason Blair versus Ray Stans. Ray Stans. Mason Blair versus Ray Stans. The battle of the first and last names. I love it. Next up, Social. First, last, Social, street address. We got Nobody. He had a really interesting video with I'd want to call it a Star Fox beat, but I actually think that might be a 64, not Bang Bros, fucking Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Yeah, that Star Fox level on Smash Bros. That was pretty cool. Guessing you made the beat for that too. Shout out. Don't mind me. Just sick as a dog. All right. Nobody versus Trev. That will be a fun matchup. Let's see what fate has in store for us next. Privacy with 2 Y's. You know why? If you have to ask, you don't need to know. Privacy. I fucked with this song. Very good singer. I was impressed at the level of professionalism in there. So this is going to be a hard matchup for somebody. Versus Sully. Privacy versus Sully. All right. We're coming down to it, y'all. Got a lot of good matchups left. Who is going to be next? Birdcage. Oh, shit. Birdcage, fellow bird brethren. Young Jacob extraordinaire. Going up against Fallen Dove. How did I know it was going to be the battle of the birds? Birdcage versus Fallen Dove. Whoever wins this match has to then, I don't know, cut their wings off of their opponent. Something. Next up, we got X-Raider. Oh, X-Raider, you gonna raid your ex's cupboards full of panties and... No, he doesn't raid his ex's cupboards for panties. He raids their ex's cupboards for Dunkaroos and double stuffed Oreos. Because he's not a creep. He's a person who's hungry. X-Raider going against Colt. Now, there was a conspiracy theory posed that Colt and Trev were the same person. And honestly, with 4 letters, a period, the same picture on their profile, hard to tell the difference. So, you know, birds aren't real. Trevs aren't Colts. Who can tell? But it's got his work cut out for him this week with X-Raider. Next up, we have Catalyst. Second drawing for the second chances. Very close matchup with Mailbox Spiders. He's going up against Coulter. Catalyst and Coulter. Coulter's song this week, he didn't have an opponent, but holy fuck. That was dope. That was a really, really good song. My girlfriend said, he sounds like Imagine Dragons. And I saw in the chat somebody else said Imagine Dragons. Yeah, that's, I guess, just what the universe thinks. So shout out Imagine Coulters. Next matchup, Kyle Jamison. Kyle Jamison. Another one this week that was my favorite out of all the drops. Smooth, the cadences, fire song that just went unappreciated because his opponent couldn't find the time. Going up against Rogue Jepson. Rogue Jepson. This will be good. I'm excited for young Rogue to stretch the pen and poke Kyle's eyes out with it. Let's go. Let's get it, guys. Next one up is Knowledge. Knowledge. What's up, buddy? You're going against Mailbox Spiders. Mailbox Spiders versus Knowledge. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Shit's going down. Let's go. We have two things left in the hat. Wait a minute. What am I missing here? Un momento. Turns out this beanie system isn't foolproof. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's Eisenberg. That's what it is. Okay. I didn't have a... That's... Got it. So the last matchup, the reason I was confused is we didn't actually have a name tag for Mr. Eisenberg because in round one, I wasn't sure if this guy was just going to be banned, if he wasn't going to show, or what. So that's the person who moved on into round two and is up against the last name in my hat, MCD. If any of you know the history between these two, this is actually a hilarious matchup that couldn't have been planned any better. I swear to God, this was not in the cards. This is just how the cookie crumbled. So last matchup is MCD versus Eisenberg. Topics will be out soon. Ripples, you did get a matchup. Let me just go through all of the matchups one last time. We've got Ripples versus M Theory, Baby John versus Nick Bonin, Eric Detzel versus Cody Nash, Riplux versus Voxlany, Ray New versus Kyle Herman, Mimic versus King Zig, Young Pagan God versus Relac, Mason Blair versus Ray Stans, Nobody versus Trev, Privacy versus Sully, Birdcage versus Fallen Dove, Battle of the Birds, X-Raider versus Colt, Catalyst versus Coulter, Kyle Jamison versus Rogue Jepson, Knowledge versus Mailbox Spiders, and MCD versus Eisenberg. Now, there's some real dope matchups, but I got one last surprise for everyone that's tuning in here. So, unfortunately, we did have a lot of no-shows in round one. And honestly, some of my first and my favorite songs from this week were no-show songs. So we actually had a friend of the podcast, a friend of the server, donate $100 to this cause and said, we love what you're doing. If, this can help in any way, please just do good with it in the community. So I don't think they want to be named, but just know that thank you. We appreciate you. And it's one of the participants in this tournament, a big supporter, and we really support him. So what we're doing with this is I've decided to give prizes to my favorite songs from week 1. So I was really struggling. There was so many good songs to choose from. There's so many I could name. I listened to every single song and I loved it. Honestly, the guy, for those that did show up, you showed up. So big shout out for everyone that participated. Even if you didn't make it into the next round, honestly, this has been a really fun tournament to judge, and I'm looking forward to round 2. I'll just say that one track stood out above all of them to me. I went back to it over and over again. I played it in the car. I went back and I played it in the car again. Like, if this ever makes it to Spotify, just know that, yeah, I'm going to be playing that bitch all day, every day. So shout out Nick Bonin for my favorite song of the week. $100 to you, buddy. Hit me up. We'll talk in the DMs, and we will get your information and send you over a prize. So shout out, brother. Congratulations. That was a dope fucking track, and I'll definitely be listening to it more. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We're looking forward to setting up these matches. I am going to get these set up, provide new topics. We're still going to keep it to Saturday. I think it's just easier that way for everyone to have that extra day of recording. Want to make sure that you guys are able to show and able to record your best. So matchups will be set up shortly. Topics will be provided soon. Fucking come with it or don't come at all. Or actually just, you should come. You should come regardless. Looking forward to it. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Cheers, everybody.